didn't plan a perfect start, just let time slip into us. One quiet look, one open heart, and suddenly it was us. You said my name like it was known, like you had said it all your life. I felt my walls begin to go. And that one fragile night, it wasn't loud, it wasn't long, but it felt right. I fell inside our moment, and I never came back out. In the space between your breath and mine, I found what love's about. Now every memory I hold still lives in that one frame. I didn't fall in love with time, I fell inside our moment. We lived a lifetime in a glance. In just a second we were deep. You held my truth without a chance for me to even sleep. We didn't promise every day, we didn't swear on forever's name, but something in the way you stayed still echoes in my veins. I thought moments were meant to fade, I didn't know they stayed. I fell inside our moments, and I lost my way. In every quiet place I go, you still remain. Now every second that I face still carries your shade. I didn't fall in love with time, I fell inside our moment. Maybe love is not the years, but the way 1 second feels when it opens all your fears and heals. If I could keep one thing from them, it wouldn't be the how or when. It would be knowing once in life I felt real. I fell inside a moment, and that remains. Even now, through all the change, I won't deny what we became or hide the truth. I feel if love returns in some new view, I'll know what's honest, what is real. 'Cause once I learned what love can do, I fell inside a moment. Some moments don't pass, they stay in you. I walk the streets we used to know, where autumn leaves would softly blow. Every corner whispered your name, and nothing here felt the same. I thought I left it all behind, the laughter, the late nights, your hand in mine. But but standing here I understand. I fell where we began. The start was quiet, the start was small, but it held me through it all. I fell where we began, in the place our hearts first met. Every memory, every glance, I can't forget. Now every step I take alone still leads me back to home. I didn't just lose you then, I lost where we began. We built a world between our breaths, 1,000 words we never said. You held my soul without a plan. I loved you like no one else can. Even now I feel that spark, a gentle fire in the dark. But even love that starts this way can slip away. I thought beginnings meant we'd stay. I didn't know they fade away. I fell where we began, in the place our hearts first met. Every memory, every glance, I can't forget. Now every street I walk alone feels like I'm far from home. I didn't just lose you then, I lost where we began. Maybe love is meant to start in the quiet corners of our hearts. Not all of it is meant to stay, but it shows the way. If I could hold one truth from then, it wouldn't be the how. I fell where we began, and that remains. Even now through all the change, I won't deny what we became, or wish we never tried. If love returns in some new form, I'll carry it with me. 'Cause once I learned how hearts can start, I fell where we began. Some loves don't end, they stay where they began. I was tired of every goodbye, every promise dressed in lies. Then you showed up soft and slow, like something I can know. You didn't save me, didn't try, you just stayed close when I cried. In your eyes I learned to cope, I held you like hope. You were the light I couldn't see, till you stood in front of me. I held you like hope in my hands, like something fragile I'd protect if I can. Now every night feels wide and cold, since your warmth is not my own. I didn't just lose someone I love, lost the way I cope. You made my broken feel like art. You made a home inside my heart. You never asked me to be strong. You let me fall along. We didn't plan, we didn't know how far our hearts were set to go. But even love that feels like true can still lose you. I thought holding meant you would stay. I didn't know hearts drift away. I held you like hope against my chest, like something real in all this mess. You were my breath. Now every dream I try to keep still feels like I'm falling asleep. I didn't just lose someone I love, I lost the way I cope. Maybe love is not the cure, but the reason to endure. Not the answer, not the end, but the strength we borrow. If I could keep one thing from them, it wouldn't be the how or when. It would be knowing once in life I was alive. I held you like home, and that remains. Even now, through all the pain, I won't deny what we became, or hide the truth I feel. If love returns in some new way, I hold it gently, I won't break. Because once I learned what love can do, I held you like home. Some loves don't last. They save you while they're here. Saw you standing there so near. My own fear kept me here. I wanted you, I wanted it all, but I couldn't break my walls. Every smile, every glance was a moment I didn't take a chance. And now the silence speaks too loud. I let it slip, I let you down. Thought waiting would keep us safe. I didn't know hearts don't wait. I kept love waiting while the world moved on. I let my fears hold you away till the chance was gone. Now every echo calls your name, and every second feels the same. I didn't just lose your love, I lost the moment I could claim. I traced the lines we left behind, the words unsaid, the hands entwined. You stayed patient, you stayed true. I let the time slip through. We weren't perfect, we weren't free, but what we had was meant to be. And even love that waits this long can be gone before it's strong. I thought time would bring you near, I didn't know it disappears. I kept love waiting while the nights grew cold. I let my doubts build up a wall and let your hands go. Now every street reminds me still of all the dreams I couldn't fill. I didn't just lose your love, I lost the chance to feel. Maybe love is not the blame, but the courage to call your name. Not the weight, not the fear, but the step that brings you near. If I could keep one truth from them, it wouldn't be the how or when. It would be knowing once in life I was meant to try. I kept love waiting, and that remains. Even now, through all the pain, I won't deny what we became. I wish we hadn't cared. If love returns in some new way, I'll step forward, I won't delay. 'Cause once I learn what love can do, I won't keep it waiting. Some loves don't wait forever, and neither should you. We never had the perfect time, just borrowed days and fragile nights. We met in cracks of busy lives, where hope still tried to hide. You touched my heart without a sound. You saw me when I was breaking down. Not at the start, not at the end, I loved you in between. We weren't forever, we weren't sure, but what we felt was pure. I loved you in between the almost and the maybes, in every breath that we couldn't keep, in all the ways you saved me. Now every pause reminds me of where we used to be. I didn't lose you all at once, I loved you in between. We lived in moments others miss, in gentle looks and silent wishes. You held my fears, you held my hands, like time would understand. We didn't shout, we didn't run, we just let our hearts come undone. But even calm can drift away when love has no more space. I thought in between and we would stay. I didn't know it fades this way. I loved you in between the spaces in your eyes, where I could see forever, but never reach the I care. I loved you in between, and it remains. Even now, despite the change, I won't deny what we became, or how the truth I still feel. If love returns in some new form, I'll know what's honest, what is real. 'Cause once I learned what love can do, I loved you in between. Some loves don't live in time. They live between it. I held my words, I held my heart, I let you in, but not too far. I gave my love in quiet ways, in mornings, nights, and simple days. I watched your eyes, I saw your pain, I stayed with you through sun and rain. I never asked for more than that. I love you with care. I thought gentle love would stay. I didn't know it drifts away. I saw your fears, I stayed for you through all the years. I didn't push, I didn't fight, I held you soft, I held you right. We weren't loud, we weren't grand, we just let love take its stand. But even love that's kind and true can slip from view. I thought care would guard our hearts, I didn't know it could fall apart. The flame, but the gentle hand that stays. Not the loud, not the fast, but the part that lasts. If I could hold one truth from then, it wouldn't be the how or when. It would be knowing once in life I gave my now through all the change. I won't deny what we became, or wish we had been more. We didn't rush the days we had. We let the moment speak, not demand. Every glance, every quiet sigh, we watched the world go by. You held my hand without a word. No need for promises unheard. The kind of love that takes its time, that isn't loud but still feels right. I thought slow love would never leave. I didn't know hearts can grieve. This was love that didn't hurry, came soft, it stayed true. It didn't chase the world outside, it only knew me and you. Now every clock feels too fast, since your shadow isn't cast. I didn't just lose your love, I lost the patience I could trust. We lived in moments others missed, in gentle touches, quiet bliss. You let me breathe, you let me grow. You never forced, you never rushed. We weren't perfect, we weren't bold. We just let the story unfold. But even love that waits this long can drift away with the dawn. I thought time would guard our way, I didn't know it slips away. This was love that didn't hurry, it moved soft, it moved slow. It didn't need to prove its truth, it only let me know. Now every minute feels too short, since your hands aren't holding mine. I didn't just lose your love, I lost a calm I can't define. Maybe love is not the race, but the quiet in the space where hearts can rest, hearts can stay before they fade away. If I could keep one thing from them, it wouldn't be the where or when. It would be knowing once in life I was loved without a rust. This was love that didn't hurry, and that remains even after all the change. I won't deny what we became. I wish we'd moved too fast. If love returns in some new form, I'll let it breathe, I'll let it grow. 'Cause once I learned what love can do, I held a love that didn't hurry. Some loves aren't loud, they're slow, steady, and true. where the sky was white, where every fear knew nowhere to hide. Your hands, your eyes, your quiet ways lit the dark in all my days. We laughed like nothing could fall apart. We held the world inside our hearts. Every moment burned so bright. It was a love that felt alive. I thought a love this wild could stay. I didn't know it slips away. This was a love that felt alive. Every touch, every glance, even in the storms we survived, it gave us chance. Now every memory aches in me, like a fire I can't contain. I didn't just lose your love, I lost a heartbeat I could claim. We spoke in ways the world won't hear. We held each other through the fear. You let me fall, you let me soar. You made my soul want more. We weren't perfect, we weren't planned. We just loved with open hands. But even love that feels this true can slip from view. I thought passion meant we'd stay. I didn't know hearts fade away. This was a love that felt alive. Every whisper, every fight, even when the night was long, you held the light. Now every breath feels far too still, since you're not with me. I didn't just lose your love, I lost a pulse that made me free. Maybe love is not the calm, but the fire that shakes your palms. Not the quiet, not the mild, but the spark that makes you wild. If I could hold one truth from then, it wouldn't be the how or when. It would be knowing once in life I was alive. This was love that felt alive, and that remains even now through all the change. I won't deny what we became. Oh, wish it hadn't burned. If love returns in some new form, I'll let it blaze, I'll let it fly. Because once I felt a love this real. It was love that felt alive. Some loves don't fade, they leave you breathing fire. didn't guard our hearts at all. We let them fall, we let them fall. No walls between your truth and mine. We crossed every line. You saw my dark, I saw your light. We stayed awake through broken nights. No armor on, no running near. This was love that knew no fear. We didn't ask if we'd be okay. We just believed in every day. This was love that knew no fear. No safety net, no plan. We jumped into the deep of us with open hands. Now every step I take alone feels like I'm walking without ground. I learned how brave a heart can be in love that knew no fear. You touched my scars like they were art. You made a home inside my heart. You never flinched when I broke down. You stayed around. We spoke in truths, not what was safe. We let our feelings lead the way. But even fire that burns this clear can disappear. I thought fearless love would stay. I didn't know it fades this way. This was love that knew no fear, no second thoughts. We gave our all, we gave our souls without a cost. Now every dream I try to build still carries your outline. I learned how brave a heart can be in love that knew no fear. Maybe love is not to win, it's something meant to begin, to show us who we are inside when we don't hide. If I could keep one thing from them, it wouldn't be the why or when. It would be knowing once in life I was brave. This was love that knew no fear, and that remains even now through all the change. I won't deny what we became or wish we walked away. If love returns in some new form, I'll open up, I won't retreat. 'Cause once I learned how deep love goes, in love that knew no fear. Some loves don't protect your heart, they free it. I used to wear my edges sharp, every word a guarded heart. I built my walls so tall and wide, no one got inside. Then you came in quiet ways, with patient eyes and honest face. You didn't push, you didn't plead, you you just stayed with me. You didn't try to change my skin, you just let the light come in. This was a love that softened me, not all at once, but true. You touched the parts I tried to hide and made them feel brand new. Now every mirror I walk past still shows your shape in mine. I didn't just lose you that day, I lost the me you designed. You held my anger like a flame, never let it burn my name. You showed me how to let it go and feel again. You never asked for perfect days, you loved me in imperfect ways. But even love that heals you deep can still leave. I thought being changed meant you would stay. I didn't know love fades this way. This was the more that softened me in every scar. You made my darkness feel like light, you raised the bar. Now every step take alone feels like I'm walking back in time. I didn't just lose you that day, I lost the me you designed. Maybe love is not to keep, but something meant to teach, to show us who free. If I could hold one thing from then, it wouldn't be the where or when, it would be knowing once in life I was seen. This was a love that softened me, and there remains. Even now, through all the change, I won't deny what we became. I wish we never tried. If love returns in some new form, I'll let it shape me honestly. 'Cause once I learned what love can do, love that's soft in me. Some loves don't stay, but they change you forever. We weren't a movie scene, no perfect lines, no perfect screens. We made mistakes, we missed our cues, but we were true. You saw my flaws and didn't run. You laughed when things were never done. You loved me tired, you loved me real. You loved how I feel. We didn't try to be divine, we just tried to be kind. This was love that stayed human, not too high, not too low. It didn't save me from the world, it walked me home. Now every dream feels out of tune since I don't wake up next to you. I didn't lose a perfect love, I lost a human one. We fought, we failed, we forgave. We learned what we could not erase. You held my hand when I was wrong and still stayed strong. You didn't fix me like a plan. You loved me just the way I am. But even love that feels this true can break in two. I thought real love would always stay. I didn't know it fades this way. This was love that stayed human, warm and wild. It didn't make us heroes, it made us alive. Now every room feels cold and wide, since your heart is not inside. I didn't lose a perfect love, I lost a human one. Maybe love is not to shine, but to sit in quiet time with someone who can see your scars and not run. If I could keep one thing from then, it wouldn't be the where or when. It would be knowing once in life I was loved. This was love that stayed human, and that remains even now. Through all the change, I won't deny what we became. I wish we walked away. If love returns in some new form, I'll let it be imperfect too. Because once I learned what love can do, love that stayed human. Some loves aren't flawless, they're honest. We met in shadows, not in sun. Our hearts were young, but time had run. You smiled like we could start again, but life had other plans back then. I held your hand, I held it tight. We laughed beneath the fading light. But even love that feels so true can wait too long to break through. I thought our hearts could bend the rules. I didn't know life plays by different rules. This is love when it knows timing, too late to catch, too soon to know. Every second we were We danced in months no one sees, in quiet rooms, in stolen breeze. You spoke my name, I spoke your soul, but time refused to let us hold. We weren't reckless, we weren't blind. We stayed the course, we stayed in line. But even love that waits for years can disappear. I thought timing couldn't take away. I didn't know hearts can drift this way. This is love when it knows timing. It waits too long, it comes too slow. Every glance, every quiet moment still tells me so. Now every hour feels incomplete. Since we couldn't make it stay, I didn't just lose your heart, I lost when love knew timing. Maybe love is not the fight, but the lesson in the night. Not always ours to keep. Sometimes it waits, sometimes it sleeps. If I could hold one thing from them, it wouldn't be the how or when. It would be knowing once in life I was loved. This is love when it knows timing, and that remains. Even now, through all the change, I won't deny what we became. Oh, wish we never tried. If love returns in some new way, I'll trust it when it comes to me. Because once I learned what love can do, I felt it. Even late, some loves don't come on time, but they teach you. I used to run through every day like I was chasing something else. My mind was loud, my nights were long, I didn't know myself. Then you came in quiet time, with open hands and steady eyes. You didn't fix what I had done, you just let me be alive. I didn't need to prove a thing, you let my tired heart breathe. That was when my heart rested in your arms. When the world felt heavy, you were calm. Now every night feels wide and cold. Since your love is not my own, I learned what peace was meant to be. When my heart rested, you heard my fears without reply. You stayed with me through every doubt. You never made me choose a side. You let me figure out We lived in moments soft and small, in quiet rooms and fading calls. But even peace that feels this deep can still leave. I thought resting meant we'd stay. I didn't know love fades this way. That was when my heart rested in your name. Like every storm inside my chest went away. Now every step I take alone feels like I'm far from home. I learned what peace was meant to be. When my heart rested. Maybe love is not the fight, but the place we go at night when the world is too much to see and we breathe. If I could keep one thing from then, it wouldn't be the where or when. It would be knowing once in life I felt safe. That was when my heart rested, and that remains. Even now, through all the change, I won't deny what we became. Oh, wish we walked away. If love returns in some new form, I'll know what calm is meant to be. Because once I learned what love can do, when my heart rested. Some loves don't stay, but they give you peace. We didn't need the world to see the way your hand fit next to me. We spoke in glances soft and slow, in ways that only we could know. Your laughter lit the quiet room. Your silence held away the gloom. In every shadow, every pose, I found where hearts lean close. I thought closeness meant we'd stay. I didn't know it slips away. This was where hearts lean close, where the world falls away, where words are small but love is vast, and night turns into day. Now every corner feels too wide. Since your warmth is not inside, I didn't just lose your love, I lost where hearts lean close. We share the space between the stars, the hidden roads, the secret bars. You held my fears without a plan. You let me fall, you let me stand. We didn't rush, we didn't fight. We built our peace in fading light. But even love that feels this near can disappear. I thought closeness meant we'd remain. I didn't know it leaves this pain. This was where hearts lean close, where whispers stay If I could hold one truth from then, it wouldn't be the how or when. It would be knowing once in life I was held. And this was where hearts lean close, and that remains even now through all the change. I won't deny what we became, or wish we never tried. If love returns in some new way, I'll hold it soft, I'll hold it true. Because once I felt a love this near, I knew where hearts lean close. Some loves don't shout, they whisper in your chest. You never rushed to change my mind. You let my feelings take their time. You heard my truth before my voice. You gave my heart a choice. In every fight and every doubt, you leaned in more, not pulling out. You knew my pain before it burst. This was where love listens first. We didn't talk to win or prove, we listened just to move. This is where love listens first before it speaks. In every tear, in every hurt, you stayed with me. Now every silence feels too loud. Since you're no longer around, I learned what love is really worth. Where love listens first. You read my fears like open lines. You felt my heart between the signs. You stayed when I was hard to hear. You held me near. We didn't need to raise our tone. We never felt alone. But even love that hears you well can say farewell. I thought being heard meant we'd stay. I didn't know love walks away. This is where love listens first and lets you go. It doesn't rush, it doesn't force, it lets you grow. Now every voice I try to trust still sounds like you the most. I learned what love is really worth. Where love listens first. Maybe love is not the sound, but the way we lean around each other's breaking truth and bruises. If I could keep one thing from then, it wouldn't be the where or when. It would be knowing once in life I was understood. This is where love listens first, and that remains even now through all the change. I won't deny what we became or hide the truth I still feel. If love returns in some new way, I'll listen close. where love listens first. Some loves don't speak louder, they listen deeper. You never pulled me close at first. You just stayed when I was hurt. You sat beside my broken days and didn't turn away. You didn't fix me, didn't try. You let me fall, you let me cry. In all the ways you couldn't see, you were holding me. No arms around my skin, but my heart was wrapped in you. You held me without hands, without a sound. You caught my fears before they fell and laid them down. Now every night feels cold and wide since your love is not inside. I learned what comfort really means. You held me without hands. You read my silence like a prayer. You knew my truth was hiding there. You stayed when I was hard to love. You never asked for much. You saw the worst and didn't run. You made me feel like I was enough. But even love that feels like home can still be gone. I thought being held meant you would stay. I didn't know hearts drift away. You held me without hands, without a voice. You made my chaos feel like calm. You gave me choice. Now every breath I take alone feels like I'm far from home. I learn what comfort really means. You held me without hands. Maybe love is not the touch, but the way we don't give up. Not the skin, but what we see when someone sees you. If I could keep one thing from them, it wouldn't be the where or when. It would be knowing once in life I was held. You held me without hands, and that remains. Even now through all the pain, I won't deny what we became, or wish we never began. If love returns in some new way, I'll know what safety really means. Because once I felt the truth of love, you held me without hands. Some loves don't touch your body, they touch your soul. carry buried words I couldn't say, locked inside, tucked away. You saw the cracks behind my eyes, the silent fears I tried to hide. You never asked, you never pressed. You let my soul speak its unrest. In every glance, in every breath, you held my unspoken death. I thought someone like you would stay. I didn't know hearts drift away. You held my unspoken, every sigh, every pause. Even when my voice was broken, you never let me fall. Now every silence feels too loud, since your warmth is not around. I didn't just lose your love, I lost the place I felt safe. I trusted you without a sound. You lifted me when I was down. You read the spaces words could not. You stayed, you never forgot. We didn't need the world to see the quiet way you stayed with me. But even love that understands can slip through hands. I thought being known meant we'd remain. I didn't know it leaves this pain. You held my unspoken, every secret, every tear. Even when the night was broken, you were near. Now every thought I can't express feels heavy in your absence. I didn't just lose your love, I lost the soul that knew me best. Maybe love is not the words, but the way it feels unheard. Not the voice, not the loud, but the quiet that surrounds. If I could keep one truth from then, it wouldn't be the how or when. It would be knowing once in life I was held. You held my unspoken, and that remains. Even now through all the change, I won't deny what we became. Oh, wish we hadn't tried. If love returns in some new form, I'll cherish it, I'll hold it true. 'Cause once I learned what love can do, you held my unspoken. Some loves don't need words, they hear your heart. I used to walk through empty streets with echoes chasing all my dreams. Then you were right, soft as the air, and I felt you everywhere. You didn't rush, you didn't push. You let me live in my own hush. But every moment, every sight, you stayed close, never said goodbye. I didn't need to call your name. You were already in my veins. stayed in my breathing, in every heartbeat, every pause. Even when the world was leaving, you were the stillness I could trust. Now every quiet feels too loud, since you're no longer around. I didn't just lose your love, I lost the air I found. I felt your warmth in fleeting ways, in morning light and evening haze. You touched my soul without a hand. You made me feel I could stand. We didn't speak, we didn't fight. We lived in the softest light. But even love that feels this near can disappear. Oh, I thought being close meant we'd stay. Oh, I didn't know hearts drift away. You stayed in my breathing, in every quiet, every sound. Even when the night was leaving, you were the ground I found. Now every room I enter alone feels like I'm missing home. I didn't just lose your love, I lost the air I breathe. Maybe love is not the touch, but the way it feels so much. Every breath, every fleeting space leaves a trace. If I could hold one thing from them, it wouldn't be the where or when. It would be knowing once in life I was held. You stayed in my breathing, and that remains even now through all the pain. I won't deny what we became, or wish we never tried. If love returns in some new way, I'll feel it in my chest. Because once I knew a love this close, you stayed in my breathing. Some loves don't leave, they stay in you. I walk through shadows, lost and dim. The nights were heavy, the days too grim. Then you appeared without a sound, a gentle glow I hadn't found. You didn't shout, you didn't chase. You stayed beside me, soft embrace. In every storm, in every fight, you were my quiet light. I thought light like this would never fade. I didn't know hearts can stray. You were my quiet light, the calm in the storm, the warmth that held me through the night, the place I felt home. Now every doubt feels deeper still, since your glow is not around. I didn't just lose your love, I lost the light I found. You saw my fears without a word. You understood without being heard. You made the small things matter most. held me like a ghost. We didn't need the world to see the simple way you cared for me. But even light that feels this need can disappear. I thought quiet love would stay. I didn't know it slips away. You were my quiet light, the softest flame, the hand I held in darkest night. It whispered my name. Now every shadow I walk alone feels colder than it should. I didn't just lose your love, I lost the light I understood. Maybe love is not the fire, but the steady glow that inspires. Not the loud, not the grand, but the warmth that holds your hand. If I could keep one truth from them, it wouldn't be the how or when. It would be knowing what's in life I will see. You were my quiet light, and that remains even now through all the change. I won't deny what we became or wish we never tried. If love returns in some new way, I'll hold it soft, I'll hold it true. 'Cause once I found a love like this, you were my quiet light. Some loves don't burn bright, they shine steady in your heart. I never felt the way they do, with fireworks and open truth. I'm moving doubts, I take my time, I read the signs. But you came in without a rush. You didn't push, you didn't touch. You let my heart decide its pace and find its place. You didn't ask for everything. You just stay close and listened in. You were my slow yes, not my first, but my right. Not a wildfire, but a steady light. Now every maybe feels too loud, since you're no longer around. I didn't fall all at once with you. You were my slow yes. You held my fears like something kind. You never crossed my fragile lines. You let me choose when I was ready to be unsteady. We built our love in open space, in quiet nights and gentle days. But even love that takes its time can still unwind. I thought going slow meant we would stay. I didn't know hearts drift away. You were my slow yes in every way. my slow yes. Maybe love is not the speed, but the way we both believe. Not the rush, but what we choose when we're unsure. If I could keep one thing from then, it wouldn't be the where or when. It would be knowing once in life I said yes. You were my slow yes, and that remains. Even now, through all the change, I won't deny what we became. I wish we never tried. If love returns in some new form, I'll know when it is right for me. Because once I learned what love can be. You were my slow yes. Some loves don't start with fire, they start with truth.